This is our final chapter in our deep dive on the Powell memo, how one document in 1971 became the blueprint for a corporate takeover of American life. We've covered labor, education, and the courts. Now we get to the heart of it, the system of government itself. Because once they rigged the rules, they came for the rule book. Let's stop pretending the system is broken. It's not broken. It's doing exactly what it was redesigned to do, to look like a democracy while functioning like a marketplace where your voice only matters if you can pay for it. This is the end game of the Powell memo, because once they captured education, labor, the courts, and the media, there was only one piece left: the political system itself. In his 1971 memo, Lewis Powell wrote that business leaders needed to confront the assault on the enterprise system by building long-term political power, not by winning arguments, but by owning the infrastructure of democracy. And they listened. Over the next 50-odd years, corporate America poured billions into reshaping our elections, our legislatures, and our public policies. And they did it in four main ways. First, money became speech. We've covered how the courts made it happen with Citizens United, Buckley, and others. But here's the result. The richest Americans and largest corporations can now spend unlimited amounts of money on political campaigns without disclosing who they are or what they want. They don't just donate, they dominate. In 2022 alone, just 100 donors gave 70% of all super PAC money. That's not democracy. That's oligarchy draped in red, white, and blue. 2, they wrote the laws themselves. Enter ALEC, the American Legislative Exchange Council. It's a corporate-funded group that literally writes ready-made bills for state lawmakers. You want to restrict voting rights? We've got a template for that. Want to deregulate pollution? No problem. Want to privatize public education? Here's your bill. Sign right here. Lawmakers don't even pretend to legislate anymore. They just copy and paste what corporations hand them. Yeah, that pisses me off too. 3, they flooded the system with disinformation. Think tanks, PACs, paid influencers, AstroTurf organizations such as Moms for Liberty, who present as grassroots parents' rights group, but is backed by dark money and linked to far-right political networks. They create a flood of messaging that's designed to confuse, distract, and divide. You've probably seen it. Climate change isn't real. Teachers are indoctrinating your kids. Unions are corrupt. Voting restrictions are about security. Regulation kills freedom. Come on. All of this messaging is funded. All of it is tested, and all of it can be traced back to the Powell memo blueprint. 4, and this one pisses me off most, they made us feel hopeless. This may be the most damaging, dangerous part. They want you to believe nothing can change, that politics is pointless, that all sides are the same, that voting doesn't matter. Because if you give up, they win without resistance. But here's what they fear most: an informed, organized, and angry population that sees through the charade and demands the real thing. Not corporate freedom, but actual democracy. Because freedom doesn't mean billionaires buying elections. It doesn't mean stripping voting rights or silencing teachers. It doesn't mean working 3 jobs with no health care while Exxon posts record profits. That's not freedom, that's exploitation. And they've sold it to us for 50+ years using the language of patriotism, free markets, and personal responsibility. But now we name it. Now we teach it, because once you see the whole Powell strategy laid bare, from education to labor, courts to elections, you realize it was never just a memo. It was a manual, and it worked. But it can be undone, not by one election or one protest, but by a generation refusing to play by the rules that they rigged. This is how we unlearn what they built. This is how we begin again. They wrote the playbook, but we are writing the response. If you missed any part of this series, go back and listen, because understanding the past is the first step toward unrigging the future.